Greetings to, thank you very much, Dr. Kamya, and my greetings to Professor Decatur and Professor Singer, my colleagues on the Professor Padmanabhan, Raghurangaswamy, and I don't know whether Arun Narasimhan is still on the in the program.
I'm here.
Yeah, very good. So greetings to all of you. I'm pleased to be, a part of this this workshop of the Kenyan IIT Madras workshop this year too, though it's happening in a virtual mode. What I wanted to share in this, brief interjection is this: that we have a lot of partnerships with universities, as you would guess, across the world. Many heavy hitters in science and engineering and technology. But really, this is unique, what we have with Kenyon College and on writing. Right, I wish it was not just writing in science and just writing in general, but it's hard enough for us first getting our students and us and many of us, to be able to be minimally competent in writing proper texts and tracts in science and engineering. I believe that with the kind of focus we have had in India in the last 3 decades or even longer on STEM, even particularly in the the better schools, writing is clear thinking. I would say clear thinking to express one's thoughts and writing has really suffered. And this shows up in many ways. I'll just narrate two very common, one very common occurrence and one incident which happened several years ago. Common occurrence is that very often in our research groups, people work together, and then there's some issue or the other, regarding the work or regarding the work environment or whatever. And one of the students will come to you and try to tell you what the issue is. And it happens more than once, and quite often that after the person speaks for about a minute or so, you stop the person and say, look, all I'm able to understand from what you've been telling me is that someone said something to somebody somewhere. Not able to get anything beyond that. There's so much vagueness in what you're trying to say. And so they're not able, many of us are not able to collect our thoughts and express ourselves precisely, succinctly, and in a logical train. And this reflects in the writing when time comes to write up one's work. I remember there was a student who did very good work. He had completely trained, in school and his undergraduate education in one of the Indian languages, and quite understandably, he was struggling in English. His supervisor, when time came to write his thesis, his supervisor was getting very frustrated with him because he was not making much progress. And, he kept blaming the scholar kept blaming it on his English. And finally, the supervisor fortunately also knew that his language, Hindi, very well. So he said, look, I don't, just write your thesis in English and Hindi and give it to me. Once we get it right in Hindi, the English part is easy. And it turned out that actually that was, the language is not the problem. He couldn't collect his thoughts together to write in Hindi either. So this is something we are grappling with. In fact, we're having I would say we have a problem at scale, meaning a large number of our students and particularly our scholars, research scholars, struggle with expressing themselves. And one of the things I look forward to from our faculty as we go through these workshops is how do we take learnings from these workshops and try to address some of these gaps in our students' training at scale, meaning we have to deal with, we take in a few hundred research scholars a year. So we're trying to we have to address that. And then maybe even some of the other postgraduate scholars and even some of the undergraduates, we're talking about, maybe 1,000 of them. How do you address and fill up this gap in their training at scale? This is an interesting challenge for us. And it's, as I just pointed out with the help of that anecdote, is that it's not an English issue. It's more than an English issue, and it shows up in English because our medium of communication in the higher education in India, in institutes like IIT, is English. So I really look forward to, I mean, I've been hearing great things about these workshops from my colleagues, and I look forward to, learnings from these, enabling us to, address this challenge that we face at scale. So thank you very much. And I wish, though we are doing this in the virtual mode, I think we've all learned that a lot can be achieved in this mode, even if it doesn't have the warmth and, the uh, sort of the special charm of a face-to-face meeting. But nevertheless, we can get a lot done. I don't think we can do this forever, but at least for some time, this is a reasonable substitute. So I wish all the participants all the very best, and I hope this workshop is really, something that changes the way the participants, think and write. And I hope that it is rewarding to all the resource persons